I am Dungeon Master, your guide in the realm of Dungeons and Dragons.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I am the Dungeon Master, and this is Heroes Wanted. Tonight, we are rejoining the party after they have been defeated, forced to retreat by Visanthus's minions, a group of vampire spawn, various peasants and nobles who have fallen victim to his vampiric curse throughout the years that he has sent to go and confront the heroes. And after a fierce battle, they are on their last legs as they flee into the night, trying to get away from the vampire spawn. And so now we pick up with you guys having a moment to kind of, ask questions, tell me what you want to do, formulate your plan with the, thing that you want to keep in mind being that the vampire spawn are not giving you time or like holding back. You're very much in the process of like actively fleeing as undead monsters nip at your heels, basically quite literally. So, it's definitely not time to, sit and relax. But I do want to give you guys a chance to kind of, discuss amongst yourselves as players and, get any information that you need from me as the DM before it turns into just like a total cut scene of the vampire spawn chasing you, because I'd like to give you some dynamic control over what happens here as much as possible. Um, just making it clear that if you don't run, then we're just right back to the battle that you guys were losing. So
Well, I do have my nature's wrath, so I can tangle up a majority of them.
I would say that don't worry about me. I'm fine, but I also don't think I have any tools that would let me help someone else hide or slow them down. Well, nothing that would work consistently.
And I think if I were on my own, I would run fast enough to stay out ahead of them and just snipe back over my shoulder until they either stopped chasing or were all dead. But I don't know. I mean, if I'm doing that, what is everyone else doing?
Wait, so they're gone, but they may still come back, right?
They're not gone. They're right.
No, they're
right
chasing us
behind
right
you.
now.
They're like literally reaching for you right now.
Uh, Let me see if I can get the. I'm honestly not sure what to do, guys.
Well, for one, I can help block the way.
I think that's a good idea, and it'll help to slow maybe not all of them down, but some of them down. And
Yeah, and also I have some great teleportation value.
yeah, so using your Nature's Wrath and basically just we keep running, and whatever ranged attacks we can use that will not slow us down so much we get caught, we keep using as we flee.
Alrighty, that's something to consider. So we have one part of our plan down.
That's what you guys are doing.
Well, quick question for you, GM. I have Wanderer as my background feature, and that says that I have an excellent memory for maps and geography. You can always recall the general layout of terrain, settlements, and other features around you. Would that be helpful in covering the space we're covering? Would that in any way benefit us in terms of escaping, say, in a direction that doesn't lead straight to a big cliff or something like that?
Well, yeah. I mean, as far as like, not uh, being cornered or something like that, for sure. There's some benefit to that. Of course, it does say, you can recall, uh, things like maps, which I'll definitely grant that you've seen a map of this place. That doesn't necessarily mean that you've been here to have like scouted it, though. Although I'm just pointing that out as more of a general note on this power ability rather than a limitation of its effectiveness right here, right now. Uh, Having a map of the area and having been in the general area scouting, a little bit is going to be good enough for now. But just, you know, if you're, looking to use this ability, just know that any area where you haven't been to before, it's not really going to work until you've had a chance to scout and survey the area.
Gotcha. So I could avoid big obstacles that would be on a map, but I might not be able to find, oh, there's this spot we could run to that would be sheltered from this side and that side and give us a choke point and blah, blah, like find the perfect place to fight. But it will help avoid the, oh no, there's a cliff and there's no way around it. Your backs are now to the cliff, kind of situation.
Correct. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. I like to be clear on this because I don't want to have anyone feel like there was inconsistency later on where it's like, well, wait, this ability worked exactly the way I thought it did before. Why doesn't it work now?
Right. I gotcha. Okay, so we are fleeing, yeah?
Let's do
Yeah,
it.
I like to note that because as I examined, I don't think I'll be able to meaningfully contribute, but can save my own, self. I think I'm gonna turn to a bat and like hide amongst the trees near the party, but that's what I'm doing.
What?
What? I said because I have nothing specific I need to be doing, I'm gonna turn into a bat and fly alongside the party, hiding amongst trees.
Okay. And so, to be clear, right now, what is happening on the first round of you guys fleeing is Cress is turning into a bat. She is flying alongside the party trying to keep to the trees. And who else is doing what?
Well, for one, Orm is trying to sort of assess the situation to plan out what to exactly to do before you know what.
Well, all of the vampire spawn are rushing at you, Quillan.
Quillan sort of assessing. You know what I mean by the whole assessing the situation?
No, not necessarily.
I mean, before I do the whole nature's wrath thing.
Okay. What do you need?
No, I'm just trying to say beforehand, before the plan is sprung. Quillan sort of seeing that these things are catching up, he says to everyone, "All right, I have a crazy idea, but I think it might work."
Anything that'll help us get away is worth trying. That's my opinion.
Right. Everyone, keep running. I will hold them off.
Well, don't stop. They'll pile on you and drag you down, and we'll never see you again.
Trust me, I have been in worse scrapes.
It seems like we should just keep running. But if you think this will work, then do what you need to do.
Just believe me, I know what I need to do. And Quillan, using sort of putting his feet onto the ground, stands in front of the vampire spawn charging him and says, "So, you wish to take a piece of me? Then come, I have plenty of pieces to give." You want a spleen? You'll get a spleen. You want a tongue? You'll get a tongue. Yeah, all that fun stuff.
Okay.
So he's standing his ground, waiting for the vampire spawns to swarm him.
They do.
Quillan seeing now is the time. He will now cast his thing on all the spawns surrounding him.
What thing?
Nature's wrath, as he summons thousands upon thousands of.
Nature's Wrath targets one creature.
See, for. I'm certain it's targets more than one. I was certain of that.
It says you can use your channel divinity to invoke primeval forces to ensnare a foe.
Shoot. So it'll just work as one.
Can we? Do you want? Is it possible to retcon that since that wasn't what you expecting?
I have no intention of killing anyone with a rocks fall you die cutscene here. So,
Well, Juan is trying to be distracting as possible.
Paladins can turn undead too, right?
Oh, that's a good point. So that's wait, what's it? Turn the faithless.
Still seems risky because if they make their saves, then they aren't slowed down in any way, and so the ones that make their saves will be right there on you, and it could be, half of them, and that's still enough to be really dangerous trying to fight them by yourself.
So I guess I'll just do like the whole like. I'm just trying to think right here, right now.
Okay.
Like,
nobody's being rushed, even though this is a rush moment in the actual game time. Like, I don't want to make you guys feel like I'm pressuring you into making a hurried decision. Although, let's face it, you would not have time to think.
I know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I think Quillan would turn the faithless, and when once they get there, and once it is turned, I'm going to see if who can make the wisdom save. So, are you going to roll something, DM?
No. You use your channel divinity, and a few of the vampire spawn break off, but there are still plenty chasing you.
Well, Quillan, standing his ground.
And because you're standing your ground, now they begin to attack you.
Well, now he goes for the defensive. So that's going to be a dodge action.
You just used your action to use channel divinity.
Okay. So what happened? So now you attack?
Yep. So several of the vampire spawns come and swarm you and attack you, ripping and clawing and biting at you. You are, once again grappled and held there now.
But how much damage do I take?
That's not important right now.
Why up? Quillan, no! And I'll turn and I'll fire arrows and try to pick off the vampire spawn where I can, but I'm going to continue keeping my distance. If they chase me, I'm running away.
Here is where I will have you roll just an attack roll. You're obviously not targeting anyone. Just roll an attack roll.
Sure.
Olan will just yell, "Keep running! Trust me! I will catch up with you!"
Oh man. Yeah, so you do pick off one of them, but it's not the one who has him grappled, so he can't move.
Olan once again says, "Keep running! I will catch up!"
Okay. I will turn and so we can't. Are any of them chasing us, or are they all just
Nope.
on,
Yeah,
in a
they're
pile on?
they're chasing you still too, but like
Okay.
there's a few that are definitely uh
Can I lost DM? Can anybody else hear him?
No.
I said a couple are on Qualan, but the rest are definitely chasing you guys.
Got it. Okay.
So there are more chasing them than grappled around Qualan.
Yes.
Then I will continue to run just fast enough to stay ahead of them and peppering arrows back into the ones chasing us.
All right. So you guys
You cut out?
are running. Lothar, what are you doing?
I'm gonna run too. And that's my best option here, I guess. Uh, where can I run? That's where, there.
So, is there a nearby, sort of like tall area? Like,
What?
is there a tall hill or something?
I mean, there's hills all around this area.
But are any of them notably tall?
Well, they're hills. Like what you're going to have
I'm
to explain to me what you're looking for in order for me to give you a better answer than yes, there are hills.
I'm trying to look for like a tall rock to like teleport onto the top.
Ah. Okay.
I'm going to use Misty Step once my
But
sort of
Misty Step
action.
only gets you 30 feet.
Yes, but my hopes it will get me Hollow Knight.
Do you 30 feet is not very far. Like
It's a first down.
Yeah. There's not even a hill within 30 feet of you, let alone one that you can get to the top of with 30 feet of movement.
Okay, so I'm going to use 30 feet of movement to teleport and then run up the hill.
Okay. So you teleport
Using Misty Step.
using Misty Step. And
I'm going to make a stealth check first.
well, hold on. First I have to mark off turn the faithless. And now Misty Step is a level 2 spell. So that's your last spell slot for level 2.
Yup.
And now you teleport 30 feet. That is a bonus action. Yep, bonus action. And then you run.
I'm going to make sure I stealth.
Okay, well then you can only move half of your speed.
Yes. My hopes is to stealth.
Okay.
18.
Okay. But what Quillan does not know or forgot is that vampire spawn have life sense. They can smell you. They don't need
Oh,
they don't need to see you or hear you. They can like literally hear your heart beating and
so,
smell the
so
sweat on your skin and feel the warmth of
I'm
your
sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
what don't be sorry. I'm explaining to you why like your valiant effort to try and hide is, you know, like the scene in the horror movie where like you think you're hidden but the bad guy is able to sniff you out anyway because these vampire spawn have, you know, just 10 different ways of finding you, you know, even if they couldn't see you or couldn't hear you. And you are now 30 feet away from them,
I was going to.
and then another 45 feet or another 15 feet to make it 45. But then that means that the group just swarms you again, although this time they do not get their attacks. So you are not grappled or bitten or anything like that as they swarm you again, but you are surrounded again.
Well, since they're not grappled, I'm going to run back to the group.
Then you draw attacks of opportunity and they
I'm
grapple you.
disengaged.
Okay, then they swarm you again. Because the group's still running, and if you disengage, then you can only move 30 feet, and so then they grapple you at the end of that.
You're upset at me, aren't you, DM?
Why would you think that?
It's because I used this hiding stuff.
It's because you stayed behind, and therefore the vampire spawn are going to do what they're going to do. Do you want me to say that the vampire spawn just like ignore you and leave you alone? Like that's not what they're going to do.
Well, might as well use Turn the Faithless again.
Okay, so instead of disengaging, you use Turn the Faithless again?
Yep.
Okay, so let's say there's 4 vampire spawn currently messing with you. All right, so that would be all of them get off of you and run back into the woods, allowing you to run up to the party, but you are, you know, badly damaged from the first attack, and so the party is outpacing you because you are in heavy armor and they are not. You know, they are.
Well, in that case, I'm to like help stave off the damage that is weighing me down. I'm going to do some lay on hands.
That takes an action. The vampire spawn might, you know, do something. But what I'm trying to explain to you before you get too far ahead. The party ran, pick a direction. And they are now 120, 180 feet that direction. The vampire spawn that were chasing them are 90 to 150 feet in that direction, about 30 feet back from the party. They're keeping them just far enough, away to keep distance and all of that, but they have to keep moving. If they stop or slow down or use any actions, then the vampire spawn would catch up. And now as you're moving towards them, you're not able to move fast enough to catch up to them, and the vampire spawn are in between you guys, like the other 10 or 9 or however many other vampire spawn are chasing everybody.
Is the map right? I'm sorry, where is that?
The map's not being used right now.
Okay. That's why I was getting confused. Okay, go ahead.
So you guys are further ahead. Qualan, you are further back, and in between you is the pack of vampire spawns. That's what I need you to have in your visual.
And how many vampire spawns are chasing us?
9 or 10 or so somewhere in that range.
It's difficult to count the vampire spawn when you're being chased by a vampire spawn.
Correct.
Sorry, just
don't be
trying
sorry.
to figure it out.
It Hazard, it's okay, buddy. I know that tense battles can sometimes be stressful, but this is just part of the game. Nobody's mad at anybody. I certainly don't want to make anybody feel bad, but if I don't have the NPCs react appropriately, then it's not a game. It's so the vampire spawn have to attack you guys and do what they can, but that's not me trying to hurt any of you. That's just the vampire spawns doing what Visanthus told them to do.
So I can't do anything?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that whatever you do, bear in mind that there is a pack of vampire spawn in between you and the party, and what you've already seen what your actions can potentially lead to depending on what you choose to do here. And so I don't want to do anything that is going to take any of you out of the combat or anything like that, but the vampire spawn are very much interested in capturing, killing, whatever. And so if you're not careful with your choices, then calamity can certainly, ensue.
And just to throw in a little bit more detail to what DM is saying, the vampire spawn can move 30 as their base movement, right?
Correct.
And then as an action, they can dash to cover another 30. So your bare minimum to stay out of their reach is 60 feet. If you can go 60 feet and do something else, then you can do that other thing without getting caught. But if you can't go 60 feet and do something else, just going 60 feet is enough to keep you out of their reach. But that's really all you can do. And so that's what like Cress is doing, is staying far enough away to not get caught, but she doesn't have anything else that she can do on top of that. And Lothar's in the same boat. Staying as far away as possible means action and movement speed, leaving nothing really else to do. And I think, I don't know, I haven't played a paladin, so I don't know if there is something else that you can do on top of that, but covering that 60 feet to stay out of their reach is kind of your bare minimum, if that makes sense.
So I should keep doing 60 feet.
And just try not to get eaten. Yeah.
Understood.
So now at this point, as you guys, have seemed to have, settled into the chase, so to speak, we're going to go ahead and have you roll your Constitution checks.
Oh joy! Constitution! The one thing I built on this character to be bad because it relates to his curse.
You did a save, Lothar. Do the Constitution check, please, on the left-hand side.
Okay, my bad.
And why did I do that with advantage?
Yeah, I had disadvantage. Why did I have?
You have disadvantage because
got
I do
it.
believe you're exhausted, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check.
Yeah, it looks like I have exhausted. I don't.
Yep, from getting dropped in the fight.
But I shouldn't have exhaustion, right?
If you didn't get dropped in the fight, then you would not. You also didn't roll with disadvantage.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry.
I remember them. I feel like there were 12, and I feel like minus like 6, it does not equal 9.
Hazard. There were
Yeah?
There were 15, and don't question the DM.
And it's difficult. We can't really stop.
I'm not trying to question you. I'm trying to figure out the math.
We can't really stop and get a head count because we're running. So, we're ducking through trees and over little hills and stuff. So it's difficult to get an exact head count, I think.
Yeah, let's just go.
The point is that there are enough vampire spawn to be a threat still. It's not important how many they are. If you guys haven't realized, we're not exactly doing this, actual combat style. This is more of a theater of the mind chase scene is what it's meant to be. But by all means, like I said, if you guys want to stop and fight, I'll finish off the TPK.
I have a way of actually getting away.
Okay.
It's my mount.
Okay.
I'm going to summon my mount to get away using a third.
That's an action. I mean, you can certainly do it. But if you summon your mount, that means you're stopping and summoning your mount.
I would think find steed would be a bonus action.
It is not.
And I cast any more 2-level spells, so I'm just stupid.
No, you're not. Don't talk like that. This is a situation that is stressful, and I get that. But I can't, you know, show favoritism and do anything like that. The vampire spawn are trying to kill you guys. And if you don't take actions to get away, they most certainly will. And then we're right back to the combat where you guys were about to be TPK'd. So, I appreciate that the first instinct for, most players is to try and, fight the combat, but not every combat is fightable and winnable. And you guys already saw, last time that the vampire spawn are very, capable in this instance of finishing you guys off pretty quickly, especially because Cress is all but out of the fight. Quillan, you have had your maximum hit points reduced by a lot, and I do believe Lorthir has like 14.
Yeah, I have 14 hit points.
Yeah. So, when you guys add up, what you have versus what there is, it's just going to be a TPK if you try to fight. And so, I don't want that. Nobody wants that. Your characters are smart enough to understand the situation that they're in, and so escape is the best option. Now, you're right. Summoning your mount would give you a much faster movement speed, but you got to figure out how to do that without drawing the attention of the vampire spawn, because if you stop, they will swarm you.
Well,
And so this may not be, well, it would require retconning, but one thing that's possible for you is that if you move 30 as your base movement and then move another 30 as your action, and then as a bonus action cast Misty Step to go another 30 feet, that gets you 90 feet, which gives you a little buffer. And they
but
might
I need a second level spell slot to cast Misty Step.
Right. So maybe this idea would have been more useful to you if I told you before you used it already. And for that, I'm sorry. That's my fault.
It is what it is. I mean, look, at the end of the day, you guys are trying to escape, yes?
That's the idea, yeah.
Quillan, yes? You want to escape?
I'm thinking of trying to use the trees to try and I used stealth to try and get away from the vampire spawns, but I just made it worse.
Just run.
Okay, but I rolled a 7.
Yes, don't worry, we will deal with that. Alright, so, as you guys are all trying to escape, Lothar, your barbarian constitution cardio has, been honed through years of fighting and solitude and fending for yourself and survival and all of that. So you're able to just put a pace on these vampire spawn that, although as undead they're able to match, they're not able to overcome. And so you just keep jogging, keep running, and as your powerful quads and calves, flex in the moonlight. Well, no, there is no moonlight because of the storm. But flex in the occasional crack of lightning that lights up the sky. You just have no problem. You're running and running. However, Quillan and Lorithir, having been bitten and drained, and your body's not having the barbarian's recovery, you feel your souls just weakened, and your pace begins to slow. Just by 5 feet at first, but it's enough to where, like, uh-oh, they're starting to get, 5 feet closer every 6 seconds.
And just to interrupt, for me, that feeling would be, okay, I can see where this is headed, and it's going to take a while to get there because my base speed is 55.
Yeah, yours is obviously a little more capable of handling this, but you do see
I can see where the curves intersect,
yeah.
and I can see clearly, like it's happening in front of me, what will happen when those curves intersect, which is bits of me being passed around among however many vampire spawn are chasing us.
Yes, indeed. And with your elven eyes, you can see through the crack of lightning Quillan starting to, like the shadows behind Quillan are getting closer and closer.
Fuck. I will curve off. I will shout, Lothar, keep moving. I'm going to see if I can help Quillan. And I will curve off to try to link up with him. It may take me a while to get there, but I'm going to go full speed, so I'm going to use my action and my bonus action to move on top of my normal movement speed to try to get to him as quickly as possible.
All right, so rushing up to Quillan just in time, the vampire spawn are all over you guys. Lothar and Cress can barely see through the dark and night, but the shadows overcome you, and your fates are unknown as they continue to run off into the night. But all of the vampire spawn, save for like 3, have now like gone towards Quillan and Lothar, and you guys, after running for some time, have no longer spotted the pack of vampire spawns or anybody. Just the 3 that were chasing you are like kind of still there. But now, how long does your bat form last? Only an hour, I'm pretty sure. So
I could double check, but you're I'm probably right.
I think it's an hour. Otherwise, it's one of the cool ones that just lets you do it like whenever you want. But I thought it was an hour.
Let's see. According to the items write-up, it says, let's see. You can transform into a bat while you are. It doesn't specify a duration. I think it's just once per night, but continuously.
That doesn't seem right.
I guess the other thing is just default to the duration of polymorph, which is an hour. Because otherwise it doesn't say.
You can use your action to cast polymorph on yourself. 1 hour.
Yeah. All right.
So, after an hour, you turn back into Cress.
Yeah.
And the vampires are still coming.
How far behind us are they?
Pretty close. And also, you have to roll your Constitution check.
Okay. $22.
Yep. So, You know, you're not tired from the hour spent flying. Lothar is not tired from his hour spent jogging. Lorithir is getting a little tired, but as he said, you know, he's got legs for days, so you know he'll be okay. But oh yeah, he's already back with Quillan.
They
So-
look great in heels too. I just want everybody to know.
That's obviously.
So you guys are okay to keep running, but now you're no longer a bat. And then Lorithir and
Yeah.
Quillan are like missing. You guys don't know what's going on with them.
So there's these 3 on us, and we can't seem to shake them, right?
Yeah.
Well then, I see no better time than now. I am going to round and try to open things up by swinging my wand at the offending vampires.
Wait.
So-
You're entering
What?
combat?
Well, there's only 3 of them, and there's 2 of us.
You have 9 hit points.
Yeah, but like I have good AC. How good is our barbarian? Does he have like really bad hit points too?
I'm not with you.
Oh, he's not. I got confused. Who's with me then? I had no. I was a group of 2.
Yeah, What do you mean, Lothar?
No, wait, no, I am with you.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay. That got me really fucking backwards.
No, I meant. Sorry, my bad.
No, you're good.
Yeah. Okay. So, how many hit points does our barbarian have?
Not many.
10.
Oh, like 10. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess engaging the 3 vampires would be risky, just not impossible. But also, they're undead with like limitless like endurance and stuff. If we can't shake them, we can't shake them. I don't see what the other option is.
I think the option is keep running. Like,
I mean, we can keep running, but unless we're like mystically saved by an outside force, the end point is that we'll probably get more exhausted. Or we run for hours and hours until it's literally daytime and they can't follow us anymore. How many hours is it till dawn?
there's no way we beat them. There's no way.
I don't think so. I mean, yeah, there's a pretty good chance they
can you
kill
heal?
us.
Can you heal?
No, definitely not.
I don't think we beat them because it's going to be 1 hit for each of us and we're dead.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean, Addy, how many hours till dawn?
I can make it dawn right now if you want.
Till like sunlight dawn.
There is no way of knowing because of the storm clouds.
Okay.
At least from president.
Let me check something. No. that
Like
wouldn't
even
work.
the dawn isn't going to be much of a dawn if you're still under the storm, is what I'm saying. And then
Yeah.
yes, hi Sage. So just to cover, I know I kind of left it blank because he wasn't here. Sage, Nova is flying with Cress and Lothar away from vampire spawn. And Lorithir and Quillan have been kind of like lost for right now. You guys don't really know what's going on with them. You just know that they fell behind and got overwhelmed by the vampire spawn. You're being forced to run away because otherwise the vampire spawn will just kill all of you.
Wait, I have an idea. I realize I can.
Neat.
I just feel like there should be something that we can do to stop this madness.
I know what I can do. I can spend a charge to allow me to dash as a swift bonus action, which means I could fly at 80 feet around, then use my action to shoot some stuff out of my wand.
Combat is not going to save you guys.
Oh, okay.
Even though there are just 3 left?
Oh, I mean, I thought it was more practically feasible that I could kite them while in this situation, but
If kiting was an option, then we would have been like rolling the whole time with Lorithir and all that.
Yeah,
okay.
let's just keep running. It's
Well,
simple.
we can try.
I mean, it's the obvious thing to do in my mind.
And also, like, you know, you guys can't like decide to do combat after getting saved from the TPK. Like, that's not how that works.
I guess I'll fly. I can do an 80-foot fly, so I'll gain, but that would mean leaving others in dust.
Like, you guys chose the running away option, you know, because you were gonna like all die. So, you know.
Hmm. I'm kind of sad I can't lift the barbarian.
Well, he is a big boy.
Yeah, I'm just saying I'm playing a shrimpier character now. If Noman could fly, he could probably hoist the barbarian up and they just take off.
I think Nova has enough strength to fly with them.
Really?
Yes.
How high is her strength?
I have like a 16-inch one.
Yeah, 16.
Yeah, why not just pick up the barbarian and then we'll fly away? I mean, there's got to be somewhere we could navigate to that the spawn couldn't get us.
Because with my max speed and the amount of time at which I can fly, I would be able to fly the length of one football field before I had to land,
Oh,
which is really
no.
whack.
Really?
Damn.
Shit.
Yup. I only have a movement of 30 feet, and it only lasts a minute. 6 seconds around, 300 yards.
Did you say 10 minutes?
1 minute.
Oh, 1 minute. Oh. I was like, 10 minutes is actually like kind of a bit, but yeah, 1 minute. Yeah, no. Okay. Yeah. Shit, I thought Nova could fly better than that.
Yeah, no, I guess, like, I mean, I know I'll probably be fine, but, like, I just don't know what to do, because, like I pointed out, like, unless we run for hours and hours and hours, the situation won't get better just because we keep running. So,
Well, if we run into something, I mean, that's the. I mean, if we fight, we're gonna die. There's no question.
if we fight, we're statistically likely to, well, I mean, flight considered. If it comes
How many vampires spawn? How many
we're being
vampires spawn
followed
in
by
the
3.
Okay, that's easy. I land.
Wait, what?
Combat
Vanish.
combat is not an option.
Yeah, even if we did, there's 3 right there. Who knows how many?
Yeah, the thing is they don't have a charisma worth of shit, and I could just send them back to the Shadowfell.
Combat is not an option. Otherwise, like, you know, what was?
Well, since we can't get away,
Nobody said you guys couldn't get away. All
Well,
I'm
it
waiting. All I'm
certainly
waiting.
seems like that.
All I'm waiting for is for you to confirm that you're still going, so we can roll the next round of Constitution checks.
Yeah, we don't know what we're gonna run into. So.
Well, I mean,
yes.
if combat's not an option and we're supposed to run, let's run then.
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to be a jerk here, but, like, you know, I saved you guys from the TPK by letting you run and escape, so, like, now you want to fight? Like, you know.
Well, I mean, like, if we have a new situation and the enemies are broken down into more reasonable packages, I mean...
Yeah, it makes no logical sense for us to fight here.
Exactly. You guys were about to die, you're running, now all of a sudden you're like, let's stop running and fight!
Well, I mean, if that's the JUP, Constitution saves, I guess.
And
Correct.
to be fair, though, DM, the situation is dramatically different now. There are only 3 of them that are right nearby.
Yeah.
So that does change the math. I mean, obviously, with everybody so beat up, it doesn't change the math a lot, but it does change the circumstances.
Maybe just a little bit, but, like, realistically speaking, army that has been routed and is retreating is not going to all of a sudden wheel back around and attack. Just
I mean, are we an army? And sometimes, yeah, that's exactly what they do.
I'll put it this way: if I fight, if I get hit once, I die.
exactly.
If I run, at least I know I'm alive next round, right? So
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is like all it takes is for the vampire spawn to win initiative like they did the last fight, and we're right back to now characters are dead. Which, like, as your characters, you would think your survival instincts would, kick in. Like, if I get mauled by a bear and I manage to get away, I'm not going to turn around and, like, try to fight the bear just because, like, his buddy left,
Well, that's why you're not Leonardo DiCaprio.
That is why I am not Leonardo DiCaprio.
I think the cause and effect is reversed there, but the point still makes.
The rest of you do need to roll your constitutions, Lothar, and then I will roll for Nova.
it dropped to 20. That sucks.
Okay, so you guys are all pretty much exhausted, but Sage, here is where what was the spell you were going to use?
Banishment.
Banishment. Here is where, as the spawn close in around you, Nova goes to cast Banishment. Unfortunately, these are not outsiders or anything like that are going to be like what?
No, they're undead.
Yeah.
Undead automatically just go straight to the Shadowfell, as if they were from that plane.
These are living undead. These are not like skeletons or anything like that.
They'll just be in a harmless pocket dimension for 1 minute or until I break concentration.
Yep, and that's what I was saying is like, although they're not, permanently banished and forbidden from entering this plane again and all of that, it buys you guys 1 minute, exactly 1 minute. And it just so happens that in that minute, the sun breaks free from the clouds. The dawn has risen from the east, and the storm clouds are still prevalent, but like it's a mostly cloudy day rather than a completely overcast, you can't even see the sun day. It's just cloudy and there's storm clouds, and in the distance you can see the lightning striking from the epicenter of the storm that has been reduced in size and scope and power now enough for you guys to tell where Visanthus is casting this dark ritual from. As the sun rises and the rain is still thick, coating all of the grass and trees and everything, and the fog kind of burns away as the sun finally shines its light down on it, you guys look at each other and you realize that without Lorathir and Quillan, you're very vulnerable to attack from Visanthus and his minions again. Between Lorathir's sharpshooting and Quillan's divine might, you guys need that extra healing and damage and protection, even with Nova here, you know, her limitations are, you know, evident by her pacifism from last night and, you know, all of that. So having your companions is an important thing, and you're able to take a moment and assess this as your bodies, like, you know, I don't want to say like collapse, but you take a short rest finally to be able to, you know, not be running and trying to flee for your lives constantly. And so we'll deal with you guys quick before I reveal what's going on with Quillan and Lorathir. So you guys are able to take a short rest, and, you know, what do you do? What do you say?
I would like to spend hit dice to heal myself.
Before you do that, don't do that just yet. But before you do that,
I did it.
here's what we're gonna do. No, please wait. Okay, I'm gonna use Channel Divinity Preserve Life and give up. I have 50 points to give towards either of you, up to half of your maximum hit points. And then after the long rest, I'll use the healer feat.
Let me ask.
Oh, I'm sorry. You already used that though last time.
I have 2 Channel Divinity.
Oh yeah.
Is our, you know how like my max hit points was reduced
Yes.
from, is it back or after a short rest?
No. No, it is not back after a short rest.
So they reduced mine by 60 total.
Whatever it says, yeah.
It says adjusted minus 60.
Yep.
And I have a max of 105. So 45 is all I have.
Yep.
I don't know if it makes sense. So if he uses that spell, he can't heal me. If I'm already over half my points.
Right. He can heal Cress and well, Lorathir isn't hurt, and who else?
So Nova, I can't take any of your heal, is what I'm saying.
Oh, you have 10 hit points right now, so yeah, you need
Oh, it says 35 on my sheet.
really?
Or it says 35. Unless I'm looking at the wrong thing.
So yeah, you're able to take 12, and Cress was able to take like 20 something.
Okay.
And then anybody else who wants to spend a hit dice or whatever can. And then
So I can still hit my hit dice after that heal.
yeah, of course.
So it's the HD, the 9.
Yep.
Lesser Restoration.
You cast Lesser Restoration on
Lothar.
on Lothar. Got it.
How'd I get my max hit points back? Is it a curse?
It is a curse kind of. It's a It's a disease. It's a curse. It's a magical necromantic undead effect. It's it's a lot of weird things that basically you need advanced healing or long rest. Uh, now, as you cast lesser restoration on Lothar, Lothar is now no longer exhausted from having been knocked down during the fight. So that's a thing.
So how far did we run?
So far away.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get the bearings of where we would have seen where Lothar and Lothier and Quillan went.
Yeah, I'll be getting to that. You guys ran for so long that it's impossible to say for like how long you were running or how much distance you covered. You ran all night.
Okay. Well, I'll just wait here.
Cress, Nova, anything to add or say?
Nope, I don't think I do. You know, as a side thought, it'd be pretty cool to develop some sort of toxin that affects undead. Damn, I'd probably need some specialty components for that.
So,
Just dip all your weapons in healing potions.
ha, there you go.
Actually, I started to think about that as like maybe I could do some sort of mix of like holy water or healing potions and like some smudgy, sticky binding agents and salt. All the magic juju that undead don't like. That'd probably be a fair anti-life toxin.
Just
Toxin.
acid. Acid
Yes,
works.
but that kind of falls neatly outside of my poisoner thing. It should still be some kind of poison.
This is
just acid.
battery acid.
Yeah, like I get like actual acids can serve as an actual poison, but I mean an actual something that fuck, you know what I'm saying.
Um,
PM?
when Sauron gathers his forces, especially I believe it's Cirith Ungol when he summons forth the uh, Nazgul and the Witch King and all of that. How the like clouds like gather and there's that green beam that shoots up. It's not completely unlike that, but like a little more lightning and natural storm than just like unnatural undead storm. But you can kind of like now see the sky beam of Visanthis's fortress in the very distance, highlighted against the storm clouds, and it's a good thing too because that is where we jump over to meanwhile with the two wild and crazy guys. They have been swarmed by the vampire spawn who grapple you and slap you up and bite you and drain your maximum hit points and do all of that, but they do not drain you to 0.
So just for a second,
Yes.
to be clear, I ran over toward Quillan, but I didn't like just run straight into the heap of vampires.
No, I know, but it's eventually they're gonna get you. There's just too many of them. Like they get behind you, they leap on you, and all of that. You went back to save Quillan, and oh, by the way, take a point of inspiration for that. You went back to save Quillan, and that is a very, very good thing, story wise. For everything that's about to happen, this is going to be great. I understand, mechanically speaking, hearing what is happening sounds really bad. This is all a cutscene thing that is not going to like mechanically be doing anything but setting up the next part of the story for this. So no worries. Although I do appreciate that, as your character, you're not like thrilled to even have that happen to begin with. I get it, but it's necessary because otherwise, well, you know what? Fuck it. I'll give you a chance. Go ahead and roll your stealth one time to see how well you're able to stay back and do everything. But I'm going to let you know right now, before you do, that Quillan's getting captured one way or another. So no matter what you do, you're either going to try valiantly to save Quillan and then run back to the group and be with the group, or you're going to be captured with Quillan. That's your two choices.
Got it. Okay. And I think my intent was to be over near Quillan and just to try to encourage him to pick up his pace and push through the exhaustion and the pain to find another gear to continue to try to escape. But I know that fighting is of no use in this situation, and I have the speed to stay out of the fight. So I think I would try to stay at far enough away that I couldn't be overwhelmed, but try to offer encouragement, because that's all I have to offer in that situation to Quillan.
Absolutely. So now go ahead and roll your stealth one time. We'll see what ends up happening.
And stealth, even though they can sniff me out?
They can, but see, here's the thing. They were not actively pursuing you when they broke off to get Quillan. So you have a chance to kind of, sneak around a little bit.
Gotcha.
And you do. No, 19. So you get, close enough, and, you're shouting at Quillan, like, hey, you can do it. Like, dig deep, no gain without pain, and
you can do it.
Yeah, nothing tastes better than being thin, and just all of that, and
Quillan manages to at least kill one of these vampiric spawns.
Oh, absolutely. So you're shouting all of this, and Quillan, is just like falling further and further behind, and then you watch as they're on him. He wheels around with his sword, his pike, and he stabs one of them, unleashing his smite into the monster, and the glowing radiant damage manages to burn away the vampire spawn into mere ash, but then the rest of them disarm him and bite him and drag him away, and you don't know what his ultimate fate is, but you watch as they drag him towards the tower that, like, now fast forward to the morning with you back by the party, like, hey, that's that fucking tower over there.
The tower is the center of the storm. The tower that.
Yes. And I shouldn't say tower, like
Right.
like fortress.
Oh.
You know, like building.
Okay, so it's not the tower that the fallen down tower. It's the building that we were at weeks and weeks ago.
Right. It is not the fallen down tower. It is a fortress ruin, like on the border of Carpathia and Kiz and Caldonia, that Visanthus is using for his own nefarious purposes and Gronk's getaway.
Got it. So can I, seeing Quolan go down in the pile of vampire spawn, struggling, knowing that if I try to save him, that I will just be adding my own corpse to the feast. Turn and run, flee at full speed, and try to find my way back to the remainder of the party.
Yeah. And so you make your way back there. Also, real quick, Quolan, I forgot. You get a point of inspiration for trying to hold back the vampire spawn from the rest of the party. That was very brave of you. You know, a little.
And it's in character.
It is. It's a little foolhardy. I'm not gonna lie, but certainly, nothing negative about it. It was a brave thing to do, and if you die as a result of it, you're still a hero. So
A valiant last stand in the face of overwhelming odds to defend life. It's a good story.
that's all I'm saying is, like, these are the kind of things people write books about. So, if you die, just know that you still did a very, very good thing and are not being punished at all.
I understand.
Also, I have never and would never kill someone with a cutscene, so you're not dead now. So
Understood. I understand.
okay. All right. So now back to the future, part 2. You guys are gathered around, resting, when Lorithir comes, running up to you guys after having broken off to go save Quolan or whatever he was doing. You're still not sure, and he didn't discuss it with you before. He just dipped. So Lorithir comes back, and you see Lothar and Cress and Nova gathered around as Nova is using her preservation of life to give everybody half of their maximum hit points, and then casting Lesser Restoration on Lothar, who was feeling a little bit exhausted, but even feeling a little exhausted was still able to run for days. And so, now as you watch her finally taking her hands off of Lothar and him feeling much better as you come up, they finally turn and notice you. And so you guys,
I am deathly white. Like I am pale beyond what would seem possible, and exhaustion just is rolling off of me in waves. I've been pushed to the very limit of my physical endurance, and as I step into camp and see this, and that you guys are safe at least, I give a sigh of relief and when I notice you've stopped and look up at me, I say, Quillan has fallen. I saw him buried under a pile of teeth and claws. The vampire spawn. I don't know what happened then. Don't know what happened after that, because I turned and fled, knowing there was nothing I could do. But I believe our ally is lost to us. And I collapse with my back to a tree and weep. Partly from relief, partly from not having to run anymore right now, and mostly from the feeling of loss of having lost our ally to our foes.
A pale elf weeping by a tree. Is it Tuesday already?
How dwarfish.
Skinny jeans and all.
God.
Actually, though, I just want to say that was absolutely amazing. And if I gave out inspiration just for the RP descriptions, you would be getting all of it right now.
Thanks.
I try to give it out for like good ideas though, so that everybody can be involved, not just the people who are good at RP, you know. So sorry.
Of course, because I feel like RP is an important part of D&D.
It is, but it's not something everybody is as comfortable as Lorithir was just there doing. And even if they are, sometimes they can struggle with their words. I know you guys have heard me struggle to come up with the right word at times, and that can hinder your role playing at times and make people, you know, less comfortable with it, less good at it, etc. So I would hate to, you know, make Lorithir the star character just because his player is better at RP than somebody else per se.
And like everybody can. It's a part of the game where you can do as much or as little as you're comfortable with, as feels rewarding to you. And you know, it's not like there's a bar that you have to reach. You know, it's what makes sense, what feels good, what works for you, what works for your character. And I get it, DM, that's, you know, if you have a reward system in place, it sort of makes that then you're doing it for the reward rather than just for the sake of doing it itself.
So
Yes, and I'm sorry, and just to hammer home the point, anytime there's a reward system in place, that means it's a penalty for the people who do not achieve those rewards.
yeah, so we're all at the camp, right?
Yes, sir. Except
So-
for Quillan, of course.
Yeah, so Lothar is kind of pale, and he's just kind of staring into the fire with a pissed off look, and he just kind of he takes his rusty axe and he kind of hits it down, and he's like, "We can't leave him behind. We have to go get him. Unless you saw him die, we can't leave anybody behind."
I agree, and I didn't see him perish. I couldn't really see anything under the heap of shifting vampire spawn. But I did also see that Visanthus has marked his location for us. The fortress was lit up by a glowing green beam, and the swirl of storms was centered right above it. I believe that's where we may find him. And if the vampire spawn didn't kill Quillan, that's likely where he was taken.
I agree. I think if they took him there, we'll either kill the undead version of him and avenge his death, or find him alive and save him. But one way or another, we can't let that happen, and we can't let his story end like this.
But how I struggle to even run another dozen steps in this condition. There's no way we can face down Basanthus without recovering from the wounds that these vampire spawn have dealt us. And while I look at myself and I seem whole, the flame of my life is as low as I've ever felt it, and it doesn't feel like something that rest alone will allow me to recuperate from.
Well, I said we have to get back, but I didn't say when. But I can tell you this: next time they're going to be surprised. We need to rest, or otherwise we stand no chance.
The fierceness, the intensity in Lothar's eyes as he plans our vengeance gives Lorithir hope and reminds him that as down as we are not out. That we will find a way. Hopefully, Nova knows something about how having 8 of our 9 pints of blood sucked out of us can be reversed to get us back to fighting strength. But when we are back to fighting strength, Vasanthus will feel our wrath.
And Lothar kind of nods and he turns to Nova and he goes, I know you're a pacifist, Nova, but this isn't the time. We need you to fight. We need you to fight for Kulon.
All right. Okay. So I'm gonna cast Thaumaturgy. Okay. Ground starts to shake, tremors, and I cast it again, and my eyes start glowing. I cast it again, and the wind starts blowing. I cast it one more time, and my voice is as loud as thunder. And I will say, "Do not proceed to tell me what I will be doing. However, I will not stand for this. Enough bloodshed. Enough blood has been spilt. We will retrieve Kulon, and before he is harmed." It's like quite obvious. Yeah, pretty pissed off.
And Lothar looks at Nova and goes, I knew you had it in you.
Nova, what do you know anything about how we can recover from the bites of those vampires? I feel like I can barely lift my arm. And it's not an exhaustion. It's not like I just need to meditate and rest. It feels like something has been taken from me.
Well, it sounds like, well, you've been bitten by a vampire. What needs to happen is one of two things. You need to eat and rest, or give me a day to recover, and I will heal you magically.
What spell would you be using?
To have greater restoration.
Yep. That's what it takes. So just to be clear, like that's what you already know is what it would take. Otherwise, it takes basically each day you get back 1 hit dice worth of maximum HP.
Do you
So
roll that hit die, or is it
yeah,
just your max? Okay.
yeah,
Oof.
yeah. So you want that greater res.
Yeah, I think if we rely on natural processes, it feels like it could take me a month or more to
Yeah.
recover from this.
I'm down 60.
I'm down 70 out of 84.
Yeah.
I got a rock.
If he does that, is that just on one person, or is that on?
No. Greater restoration is one person. I no that would be.
It's still
I'm thinking
10
about
times
greater.
faster to cast it even one per day on each of you rather than waiting a month for you guys, you know.
The only way I could do something like that is if I were to cast like mass heal. Not even mass heal. Like holy aura, and boom, like curses, healing, like all things that are wrong with you are just gone.
So let's set up a camp. We got to heal up. If it takes a couple days to heal us, we got to be at full capacity. We're one down.
It's going to take you a day to get to the fortress no matter what, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, you've got today you can go ahead and rest. Lorathir, I assume you're doing the best you can to scoot out the area and make sure that it's safe for you guys to camp and everything. Obviously, as you've described, the elf is at the weakest he's been since he was a wee baby, but you know, still you know, are you doing the best you can, or are you so exhausted that you leave that for someone else to handle?
I will, having been revived by Lothar's fierceness and Nova's booming, fiery outburst, I will struggle to my feet and attempt to find us a safe place to camp.
All right, go ahead and roll your. You know what? I don't even need to tell you what to do. You're already on top of all that. So, you are, you know, not up for sitting here and making a whole like meal and doing everything, but you manage to scout around, make sure that there's no owl bears that are gonna come running out of the hills to eat you, or you know, anything like that. And then you also happen to pass by a bunch of it's like the shelf mushrooms that grow on trees, but like edible and good and all of that. And you find just like a big old, you know, clump of these, and so you're able to bring back mushrooms that are not going to necessarily be good, but it's food. You know, you're like, here, eat. I mean, I don't want to tell you how you are, but you know, in your elven scouting, you're like, this is food. Everybody needs to eat, so you know you can grab the mushrooms.
Gotcha.
Thank you, Lorathir. They look quite delicious.
Well, they're called chicken of the forest. They aren't amazing for their flavor, but they will provide sustenance, and they will make a hearty meal.
Thank you,
And-
Lorathir, for reminding me that I don't need to do that anymore.
I have to give you a point of inspiration for actually knowing what they're called.
I actually
have to. I have to.
there's this woman I follow on TikTok. I can't remember her name, unfortunately. I'd love to give her a shout out, but she's a forager, and she's just got this incredible, like chaotic, joyful energy about her, and just goes out and like finds all these things to eat in the woods. And so she just a couple of days ago I watched a video where she found big mushrooms on a downed tree that were the kind of the shelf shape that you're talking about.
Yep.
And she was like, "These are the ones." So when you said that, I was like, "Okay, I know these mushrooms."
Yeah, I didn't even know what they were called, but I got a genius buddy of mine listening in too, and he's like, "That's actually what they're called." I'm like, "Oh well, that player just earned himself a point of inspiration."
So Lothar eats the mushroom and he looks to a tree and he's like, I'm gonna start gaining my strength back, and he takes his axe and he starts chopping at a tree.
Well, I can cook them first if you prefer.
I guess I thought that was part of that had been done already too. But
Yeah.
if Nova wants to do something with them, maybe she has an idea of how to prepare them that I haven't seen before. I'd be glad to hand them over and let her do her magic.
Yep. So pull out my mess kit and I'll cook them up.
Okay. So you are going to roll your survival with your mess kit. So I'll give you a +2 to that, and boom, boom. Oh, don't do that. There we go. Oh, you do all right. You're competent enough to add some seasons and flavors and what have you to make the mushrooms slightly more palatable as you whip something together for everybody, because everybody like is really
Palatable.
yeah, really dead on their feet right now. So you know, it's not a good scene in the camp as far as like everybody just um, you know having a good old time or anything like that. And Lorathier, I just want to be clear. You are correct that you are at your maximum hit points, and that you are still fully drained. You do have like bite marks and stuff like that. So you are like wounded. It's just not the kind of wounds that would be like, your hand is cut off or something like that.
Right. Got it. I mean, I have that too.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah. So anyway, long rest accomplished, and
Right. I eat the mushrooms and I make polite comments to Nova about them. It is a different way that I haven't had them prepared before, but I'm not tasting my food at all, really. I just need the fuel. So I put it in my body, and then as soon as it's possible without being rude to the other people in the group, I go to meditate.
yeah,
I assume we have a fire going.
if you want,
Yeah.
you tell me. Do you start a fire?
Yeah, Lothar starts the fire and he puts his axe in it and he heats up the axe and he starts putting the hot axe up against his bite marks to kind of like sear the marks. He shows no pain while he's doing it. He's just kind of,
That was a little unnecessary, don't you think? I could patch you up easily.
I was wondering where all those half moon shaped scars came from. Now I know.
I'm used to it. So we're all at full HP again, or we still got to get our draining back?
Yeah. So, who do you cast the Greater Restoration on first, Nova? Who do you love?
Let's see. All three of them need it. I guess I'll. I know Lothar took quite a beating first, so I'll give it to him first, and then Lorithir, and then.
Well, we'll take it one at a time. So, Lothar. Oh wait, do you have enough for more than one casting? Oh yeah, you have at least 2 5th level spells. Let me check your sheet and see what level this is and everything. I've just been letting you do it. I should probably double check.
Greater Restoration is. I don't think Greater Restoration is a 5th level spell.
Yeah,
I don't always remember.
Yeah, it's a 5th level spell. So, that's okay though. You have 2 of them, and then you're out of spell slots for 5th level spell slots. Do you want to cast that on Lorithir then next? Yeah, that's what you said. Yeah. So now only Cress is missing some of her hit points. I mean, she's alright.
I'm missing a quarter of them.
Oh, cry me a river.
I'll fucking try.
So
imagine that being a spell. Crying a river.
yeah. So Nova, you're still at full. You know, you haven't been touched. And Quillan isn't here right now to be dealt with. So you just have to rest one more day and heal Cress, and then you'll still have your 5th level spell slot, one more 5th level spell slot if you want. But now you guys, of course, have a choice to make, you know, because you're here in camp, you know, and it's the 2nd day of deer camp, and you gotta either go or stay. And if you go, you gotta tell me where you go.
Well, I'm going to cast Sending.
Okay.
And I'm going to cast it, and I'm going to try to reach out to Quillan. I know that I can only send a 25-word message, so I don't know if this might go over
Well,
a little. But you know, the general idea.
Oh, hold on. I'll stop you right there, because as much as I do care what you would say, because it could be a cool like thing, Quillan is not gonna get this message, because you can tell when you cast your sending that like there is a block between you and Quillan. Somehow Vasanthus has his fortress that he is at shielded, and you cannot get a sending through.
You get that 3-tone line is unavailable.
The number you have reached is not in service.
Yeah.
You check your number and dial again later.
The paladin you have dialed is not on this plane of existence.
I think we rest another night, guys. I mean, we got to be full.
By the way, I'm not actually trying to hassle you. I just like to bother you.
You guys want to rest another night?
whatever it was that spell that Nova cast, I feel like I could run up and down every tree in this forest without getting tired now. But I think another night to bring us all back to that same state is probably a good idea.
I feel more quartered than usual.
Yeah, that would be better. That would be probably for the best. So what do we plan on doing first? Obviously, I believe our current most important objective would be to rescue Kualan.
Wait, we have to rest and then you cast a spell on Crest, right? And then Crest has got his max HP back, and then we're good to go. Is that right?
What hit dice does Cress have, by the way? Is that a D8?
Huh?
Is that a D8?
Sorry, a D8 for what? I think I missed the question.
The hit dice.
That I use?
Yes.
I'm a D10.
Do you have your full max HP, Crest?
No.
Yeah. So what I'm proposing is we wait another night. Nova casts that spell on you, so you're full, and then we go.
She only has minus 15 though.
Yes, I am getting much closer to full health.
I'm not advocating any course of action. I'm making sure that it's, clear where everybody's at.
Yeah, I'm just throwing a proposal out there. You guys.
I believe it's time to have this difficult discussion. Lorith here. I know that you are at least vaguely knowledgeable of me being here and the circumstances involving such. But I don't believe that I have told you everything. It is time for everyone here to know. I don't even remember how long ago it was. But I, as I have said before, am not from this time. In the distant future, the world was blackened. Not just this world, but every world. When, in my time, the Santhus corrupted something called the Arcadius Blade, the Sunblade. He turned it into something called the Moonblade, the Blade of Darkness. So when he blocked out the light, he did so on every world in this mortal plane. Every creature rose against him, even the vampires. For what the Santhus was trying to do was little interest to that of real vampires. The Santhus wants to become a god. I don't live there no more. That's not over. I tried my absolute best. When everything else was dead, there was only two things left in all of existence. And it was myself and the Santhus. I confronted him, but I did not harm him. No. I showed him the error of his ways and the evils that he had done, and that there was still a chance to save everything, including himself. And though I was on the cusp of what I believed was my form of a victory, it was for naught. For the Santhus cast himself backwards in time to a younger version of himself with a knowledge of what the future has in store, making him even more dangerous than he was then. Pelor, the god of the sun and light, all of mortal kind, sent me back to this time to prevent the future that had occurred in mine. The reason that I bring this information to you is I cannot guarantee what will happen during our final confrontation with this villain. We could be on the cusp of victory, similar to how I was. There is no telling of what might be done. I do not know how he managed to put himself backwards in time and into a younger version of himself. I fear that should we defeat him or bring him close to it, he will do it again. I do not know if he will be able to, but I know that he did so before, and I do not understand the mechanisms of which he had done so. And I'm gonna mute myself because people keep talking around me.
Okay. Yeah, so Nova makes it clear to you guys that she doesn't believe Vasanthus can necessarily be defeated, you know, without somehow locking him down or, you know, whatever. I'm not gonna put words into the player or the character's mouth. So, but basically making it clear to you that Vasanthus is very powerful and has means of escape that you know have not really been seen before, and using time travel was one of them. So, you know, she doesn't know how he did it, but he did, and just wanted you guys to know that. So, you guys rest another night and then head out, or head out and, like, you know, decide what to do along the way?
My proposal was to wait another night.
Alright, so to continue, I say, in order for us to defeat him entirely and completely, we will need a plan of attack. As we already know, that when he is on the cusp of defeat, he can shapeshift and bleed and regain and restore himself. But even if we manage to corner him in his own domain and prevent him from being able to flee and heal, we must also have a plan to prevent him from being able to traverse to another plane or even another time. Do you have any ideas on how this can be done? And when we do confront Vasanthus for the final time, what is our plan?
Time to get to this, but I'll let it continue through the dialogue to see if it changes at all.
In layman terms, I'm trying to ask, we need a plan of attack. We cannot just run up on the guy. He will either get away or will restore himself. So what are we going to do?
I think the combination that
Alright, so that's what happens. It's kind of weird.
that worked
Kinda like built in
on
that
Soggy
end as soon as the fiend was defeated.
of sunlight
That's what
to
happens.
prevent
110 hours of work
his
for a really, really dumb
transformation.
question, but,
I think that's a must.
all in the name
We
of science.
have to
So,
use that to keep
if you
him from
got a
being
kick out
able
of this
to
video,
change
let me know in the
shapes in
comments
that
what you thought
moment.
about it, and you know
But
what, there is a later fix
what
battle
you
I will
say
try to
about
do
his
with
ability to move through time,
tells him not to use
I
the
have
sword
no
against
experience
an enemy
fighting
that
against
usually
that,
needs
and I
a
have
piercing effect to get through the armor. And
nothing but
honestly,
conjecture
this
or
time-
guesses to make regarding how to prevent it.
Lothar looks at Nova and he says, after
Alright.
that last
That's
attack,
what happens. It's kinda
only a
weird.
fool would
It's kind of like built
attack
in.
Well,
Blade. We need to.
I am not
we need
one
to go to
for bringing
That's
despair
what happens.
to
110 hours of
deny
work for a really, really dumb question.
Could
the
you-
light of hope.
All
Am
in
I-
the name of science. If you
Sage,
got a
Sage,
kick
hold
out of
on.
this video,
I am not,
let me know in the comments what you thought
Sage,
about it.
hold-
I'm
And
not-
you know what, there is a later
hold
fix
on,
battle.
let him-
I will
let him-
probably do
let
this
him
with
talk.
Warren, where he
Yeah.
tells him not to use.
I think we need to go.
An enemy
We need
that
to,
usually you'd need
once
some
we're fully
piercing effect to
healed,
get through
we
the
get
armor.
closer to where that
And
storm's
I
coming
honestly
from. We
think
scout
that
the area.
I can't hear him, that's why.
It up now could already do it, but I'll make sure
Can you guys hear
definitely
me?
will be able to do it later.
Yes.
But, and I'll
Yeah,
post
I
a
think
video of
you're
that so
you are
can
quieter
skip
than other
If
people,
there's
though.
any like dialogue skips
Yeah.
or anything with Orin. But thanks for tuning in. This has been the Warrior of Light.
Okay. I can try to turn myself up. Hold on. Is that better?
Can you hear him, Sage?
Is that better? Louder?
No, not even a little bit. I didn't even know anyone was talking.
Is that louder?
You might want to check your mute settings.
Okay, and who is this? Is it Lothar? Is it Brawler?
Brawler.
Yeah, apparently I muted him. Sorry. My phone does stupid things when it's in my pocket.
Yeah. So what I was saying is we need to go up to where the storm's at, scout the area, and look for an opening, and we have to surprise him. There's no way we can go in there with everything he has. We got to find a backdoor way to get to him.
That seems wise to me. He has demonstrated an ability to locate us or know where we are even at great distances, which suggests that it may not be possible for us to sneak up on him. But I think we absolutely should make our best attempt at doing so, even if he has a way to counter it. Just why attack from the front if we have another option?
And Lothar looks at Lothier and goes, "You have stealth, don't you?"
Yes, I'm quite adept at hiding, but I don't have a way to provide that to anyone but myself, unfortunately.
We may need you to at least scout forward and relay information back to us as to where there's a weak spot.
That is a role that I have performed for longer than you've been alive, friend, and one I'm quite comfortable with.
It's our only chance.
I agree. My biggest concern, my biggest fear is Visanthus's ability to move through time. I think we need a way to stop that. And I don't know of any such power.
I don't know much about time travel, but if we're gonna get him, we have to give it our
Tell me
best
what
shot.
happened. Turn the damn Bluetooth on. Okay, so yeah, you can use Divine Intervention.
That works one time in 100?
I have a 10% chance currently.
Okay. That I think if we have nothing else, then absolutely we use that. But I would like a more secure method if one is available to us.
No. I'm sorry. I don't know what was just being discussed as I accidentally disconnected my Bluetooth and I couldn't hear any of it.
We were talking about Visanthus and how he can time travel, and if there's any way for us to stop that.
Out of character. So I have the spell Forbiddance, but I don't really know how it will work. Because I don't know if, like, traveling to a different timeline is the same as trying to, like, teleport or leave the plane. But I do have the spell, and basically what it does is anyone trying to teleport or leave the plane will be unable to do so.
Is that a concentration spell?
No idea. It's not a spell I've checked out too often.
Gotcha.
I'll look, but I don't know.
My concern with that would be that I think we need to have daylight up to prevent Visanthus from changing to a mist and escaping.
Yes, that's a good point. We must attack during the day.
And
Sorry, go ahead.
just that I think Vasanthus isn't likely to just walk out into the sunlight to fight us. So we need to bring sunlight to him, and that means Nova's powers. And if you're focused on keeping the power of the sun on Vasanthus, you may not be able to also focus on some other spell.
It is not a concentration spell.
Well, problem solved.
Well, yeah.
Well, here is this. I have to be honest with you guys. I
would
do
prefer
want
it.
to be rid of the I do want to be rid of the Santis. Just as much, if not more than usual. However, I will not cast a spell in combat knowing that it will cause harm to you. And that spell is very powerful and will very easily do so.
Also, Forbiddance is a 6th level spell.
Oh, never mind.
Lothar
I need to
stands
level
up.
up before that.
Lothar stands up and he goes, "Make no mistake, my first priority is trying to find Quillan. And if we find him and we get him out, then I'm happy with the outcome. If we kill Vasanthus or not, it matters not to me. But what is clear is we need to attack during the day, because that's when they're weak, and that gives us our best chance of getting in and getting out."
I agree.
Agreed. I would like to attempt to use divine intervention.
Okay. To resurrect Soggy?
Yep, you know it.
Okay.
We definitely need the help now.
And if I remember handing Nova the ashes of Soggy.
Oh, it's irrelevant. I can access any spell within my spell list and with no cost component. So I'll just go boom, true resurrection. All your stuff is back, and your body,
Yeah.
and you're fully restored to everything.
Except for, again, remember that when you
I mean, again, I don't know if it'll work. I just saying I know
when you tried to view
that's the spell I
Paylor.
select.
Right. No, I get it. I'm just saying, when you tried to view Paylor.
Yeah, I don't know if you what you were saying because you broke up for me there.
Paylor is definitely behind a seal of some kind, so his power is diminished.
Yes. I mean, well, that's what faith is for.
That's right. All right. So, it doesn't work, and then you guys didn't really answer, or I missed it in everything else. Do you rest or do you go?
I would like to rest.
Yeah,
I am a little weary from restoring you.
We are we more, we're more than a day's travel from the fortress, right?
You're about a day.
About a day. Okay, then yes, let's rest here and set out in the morning. Ooh, but we want to get there. We want to get there in the morning. We don't want to get there at night, right?
I have a plan, so it will elongate our endeavor. If I were permitted the time when we get there, 24 hours, 1 day's worth of time, I will sanctify an area. This way, when we leave, we will have an area that we cannot be followed through, at least by the undead or any kind of demonic. This will allow us to be able to rescue Quillan, as well as restore him and get ourselves to safety, where we can then regroup and reform another plan of attack.
It is that. I mean, if Vasanthus, but Vasanthus can't see you, can he? I was thinking that if he could see that happening, that he would just come out and try to prevent it, and then that we may cede the initiative by waiting a day to act. But he can't see you because of
No,
your
he
pendant.
cannot. So we
So-
will need to be sneaky little squirrels.
I think
I mean,
that's
assuming that he's not using some sort of more traditional target surveillance to just watch us with some sort of bat or something. He
right.
could be
And
watching us right now.
he likely does have servants out. But how much area can he cover? And as far away as we are, does he have those servants been likely to see us? I don't know the answer to any of those questions.
Likely not, but I did want to point out it wasn't a guarantee.
So I guess the question to ask ourselves is, the closer, I think, Nova, the closer to Vasanthus's fortress that sanctified area is created, the more useful it will be to us in aiding our escape. Alternatively, the closer it is to his fortress, the more likely it is that we are discovered in the act and some attempt is made to prevent it. So then we weigh those two needs, and do we have a sense of how close we should get? Should we do that here and then attempt to flee back to this place? Should we travel for half a day to be closer but still
Yeah.
have some distance?
It's a day away. If you're trying to flee, that doesn't make. I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
Certainly the most exaggerated case is that we cast this right in front of his front door, and it seems to me there's no way he would allow that to happen, right? So then somewhere in between here and on his front step.
Yeah, I think we get there and have you scout out the situation, and then go from there.
I agree. We should, in the very least, once we get there, get a good idea of the terrain. If, for example, if this place where he is currently residing, Wallen, happens to be near a tree line, that would be a phenomenal place.
Right. Okay. Then let's take our day of rest and preparation, and tomorrow at the moment of sunrise we set out, travel at perhaps a quicker pace, and find ourselves with as much daylight left as we can leave to do some scouting around the area.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. So, as you guys are, settling in for the long camp, you are doing your, standard routines of meditation and foraging and sharpening your weapons and going through whatever rituals and downtime activities that you guys all have. And then the night falls. And as the night falls, the storm clouds thicken and roll ever outward. Green lightning flashes across the sky. You can sense that, something is in the air.
We must find shelter, a place to hide immediately. We are being stalked. They will be upon us shortly. These are not natural.
Do you guys listen to Nova?
We need to find a place where we can't be surrounded again.
Yeah, let's look for defendable high ground. Preferably somewhere with a choke point. That
Do we roll like survival for that, or?
So, you know, in this instance, it's not so much a case of like having, time to like scout everything out. So like survival isn't necessarily gonna do anything for you, but because of your ability, the Wanderer, they call you the Wanderer. If you roll your knowledge, your general wisdom um, roll, I'll give you advantage on it due to your ability.
so what am I? Am I just doing a wisdom check with
Yeah,
advantage?
yeah, it's a wisdom check with advantage because it's based.
Do all of us roll, or just one of us?
Just Lorithir. He'd be the best at it. So with his memory of the area and the maps and everything, he has you guys fall back into this like wooded glade area that kind of funnels people in. There's hills on either side, and the trees don't bother him because he can like shoot around stuff so easily, but it does provide everybody else with some amount of cover and ability to move, and just you guys are.
I think you cut out.
Yeah, I lost you.
Oh, I just said
Yeah.
you guys are benefited from being in this area.
Gotcha. And can we? The last time we were attacked by the vampire spawn,
Yeah.
we could only see 30 feet or so from where we were positioned. Is this somewhere where we can see a bit further, so we'll have a little bit more preparation as they're approaching us?
You are able to see right now, a little bit further, but the storm clouds are like getting thicker and darker.
Gotcha.
So yeah, as of right now, you can see a little further though. So yes.
If anyone has any abilities or spells that would allow us to prepare this ground to be defended, now would be the time. I don't use traps or slings or anything like that, but if you do, we are about to stand and fight for our lives.
I think we need to get in like a somewhat of a battle formation. So like, let me take the damage because I think I'm the tankiest probably, and everybody else behind me as much as possible.
I will go up behind Lorithir and I will dump a vial of holy water into his quiver.
He's getting your arrows all wet.
Can we roll like perception or something?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I'll just say it, right? I'll say, this should allow you to do more damage to the undead.
Lorithir's just got to be the best at everything.
My pointed ears are perked up.
You hear the crackle of the lightning as it rolls across the clouds in the sky. You hear the start of the rain deep in the distance, and you can sense a fog rolling in before you actually see.
Nova, will you give us your blessing?
That's a no.
No, I will give everyone with a level 4 8. I will praise you, Paylor, Ilmata, and Sarenrae. I will say, Defender of the Suffering, Dawn Father of Light, and Mother of Peace. I beg of thee, bless us that our hearts are fortified, that our bodies will have greater stamina, that we may continue where others may falter. I am your humble servant, and beseech your blessing. Amen.
Do you have protection from good and evil? Evil and good?
I do, but at this level, it's not that great of a spell. I mean, the only thing that it will do is if something's evil, or I guess I select fiend, undead, or whatever. Obviously, in this case, would be undead. They would have disadvantage at attacks against you, but then I really wouldn't be able to do much else because it is a concentration spell.
Okay.
All right, so Nova casts Bless on all of you, and uh, Lorithir, you hear the sound of thousands of wings, bats, a swarm, two swarms, three swarms, are all around you guys. Now, you're level 10 characters, and these are bat swarms, so we're once again not going to be rolling a bunch of stuff, but you are inconvenienced as you swing your weapons around before finally you guys tell me what you do to disperse the swarms of bats.
Light a torch in each hand and whack as many bats as I can with the flaming torches.
That's a good one. Anyone else?
Yeah, I do the same. I mean, that's honestly what I was going to do.
Grab a torch and start beating some bats. And Cress?
I mean,
Don't you have a flamethrower built into that thing?
I mean, kinda. I can burn a charge to shift for a burning weapon and then start waving that around. But this is essentially a mildly more effective version of the torch. But yeah, I guess I'll do that. It at least seems more dignified than the torch.
Yeah, so you guys, you beat the bats, and they fly up into the air, and they form like a giant bat made out of a bunch of little bats. And suddenly, on top of the giant bat, you see someone that you have been wanting to make more dead than they currently are, the Xanthus, astride this bat made of bats.
I would like to beat on the brat with a baseball bat. Oh yeah.
And
I get.
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said I look up and I give him the finger and say,
Well,
"Bring it."
I have to think for a second here. This is Vasanthus, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't know why. I had a brain fart. I don't know where that thought was going. Ignore me.
Ah. So, Vasanthus, atop this giant bat made out of a bunch of little bats, stands up and begins to cast a ritual. And unfortunately, that is where we are going to have to draw to a close for this session of Heroes
No
Wanted.
monologue?
I don't.
Next week.
Yeah, I don't want to get into the whole Vasanthus fight right here and now when like Quillan hasn't been rescued and everything. So this is going to be a real quick thing, but then it's going to lead right to something else. But I was prepared for a different set of scenarios, not Vasanthus having to come and drag you guys out of bed. So this is where we are going to have to draw to a close for this session of Heroes Wanted. I want to thank you guys for playing. I want to thank anyone who's watching. And as always, everyone, good
Good gaming.